Ladies and gentlemen, it is time, it is actually long overdue time, for the final episodes of the Iron Man build with magazines 99 and 100. Those of you who've been following will notice that I kind of hit 98 and hit a bit of a wall, and there's a whole heap of stuff been going on. I've been sorting out various little bits and pieces, been trying to catch up with watchwork at the bench, and I've still got a bit to clear there. It's just all been a bit manic and I've just not had the time, so these have been sitting and waiting. With these two final magazines comes this Fanhome thing which says, "This doesn't have to be goodbye. Your Iron Man Mark III armour subscription is now complete, and by now you will have received all of the assembly stages. But we want to sell you some battle damage parts." And I'm sorry, Fanhome, but this does have to be goodbye, because I just simply, having spent as much as I have already on this, I just can't afford or justify spending any more on it. If I want battle damaged armour, I will just at a later date battle damage the armour that I have. And here is a nice little booklet showing you the battle damaged parts that you can buy, which are the gauntlets, the elbow pads, the helmet, the chest plate, and possibly a couple of other bits. Oh yeah, the sort of bicep thing there, and you know, that kind of thing, and some close-ups. Yeah, all the bits that are fairly easily swappable. The problem, I do have a couple of problems with this. So even if I had been going ahead with this, there would have been some things that would have made me go, you know, I'm not so sure. But it's things like you've got the two rear calf plates, but the rest of it pristine. You've got the helmet, the entire helmet, including the back, but the rest of the back is pristine. The elbow pads, and yeah, I kind of get that they were going for areas of high wear, but why would the calf plates be damaged and not other parts of the back of the armour, you know? The hands, yes, because they're getting used a lot, and the chest plate because it's going to take, I suppose, a lot of impact with things being shot at it and what have you. However, the one thing that really bugs me from a chipping and weathering point of view is that all of the chips on this red part of the armour are silver. Why are they silver? The entire suit is made of a gold titanium alloy painted red. So why are these chips silver? They would be the base colour, or they would be dirty or what have you, but they would be primarily the gold alloy base colour. So that kind of bugs me. So even if I were in a position to go ahead with that, that would niggle at me. However, put that aside, that's irrelevant. We've got two packets. We've got this one, small one with two sort of side skirty pieces, and this one with two bases which the body and the legs and all the accoutrements clip into. So essentially what we're doing in these final two episodes is completing the final two waist sections that you can see here, and these sections make up the different poses, allow Iron Man to stand in his different poses by swapping out this midsection, this waist. Given that most people building this model are going to build it, put it on its stand in one position and probably never touch it again, you could say this is a waste of time. No? Okay. Right, anyway, moving on with this. Straight to the build. And we are using this one here, and we're going to build the two side skirts. Now there's two, these side skirt pieces are one for each of the two remaining waist pieces, as it were. So we need to carefully decant the pieces, and we have a left and a right one. So we know that that goes into the left one because it's got two pins, and that one has two pin holes, and this one has no pins, and this one has no pin holes, so we know that that's going to go into there. And then these, I'm assuming, are they right? Are they the same? Okay, hang on, no, we've got a right, which is that one, and we've got a left. I'm not sure why they're marked, because I would have thought they'd be the same, but maybe not, maybe not. So you pretty much know the drill by now. We start with the left piece and 99C, which is this one with the pins. Let's scoot in a bit for you. maybe not that much. Okay. And then we need an IP screw. So we pop this in here with the locating pins going into the appropriate holes. And we find an IP screw. And we have three IP screws. So that means we're using one in each of these side pieces. So we'll pop that aside. And there we go. We're then going to obviously use a longer one to go into here. So we then need an OP. Yep, the OP are longer ones, and we have accordingly 3 of those. So if I can get a couple of them out, like so. And this needs to go in this way, like, whoops, like that. If I can get this to behave, come here now, come here. And in we go, right the way through to form a hinge. Ooh, don't want to make that too stiff. And there we go. Yes, nicely done. Marvellous, yes. Smashing. Right, so we now have this piece here like so, and we're going to put the other 2 screws in the other side skirt piece out of the way a moment, and we need this, which is waist number C, or part C. Let's zoom out a little so you can see that. And we're going to take this piece, which is the front groinal area, and this Blake 7 laser gun, and slot that into there. Once seen, cannot be unseen. If you've never seen Blake 7, just YouTube it, you'll see exactly what I mean. And we then need a QP screw. There are 3 of those, so we're obviously using 2. Put one over there to go with the other one, and this QP screw is going into the lower of the 2 holes. That is quite obvious even if you're not following the instructions, because the other one already has a screw in it. Very helpfully to show us precisely where that's going. So that one into there, tightened up nicely, and we then turn the page. Okay, so we put this aside, and this is now asking us to deal with the other side. So I will skip through that to save you the sheer boredom of watching me do the exact same thing again. But just to give you a very, very quick sneak preview, this is the side skirt, which is going to fit onto this one here, like so. So here we are. We've got a left-hand side skirt piece 1, and we've got a right-hand side skirt piece 1, with the appropriate Blake 7 laser guns, and obviously the skirt pieces fit according to whether it's a right or a left-hand side piece, as you can see there. Let's rotate that around because the lighting's a bit all over the shop on this. Yeah, I thought when I got this camera, I thought it would be ideal for this kind of thing on the bench, and it's really not suiting what I need. So I think I will be going back to my trusty old mirrorless and moving this one on, which is a very good little walk around camera as it happens. It's a Canon SX730, but there you go. Nice little pocketable super duper zoom thing, but anyway, that's irrelevant, that's beside the point. So that's that, and then we've got the appropriate butt pieces for each of these, which attaches, which butts up to the front of the waist. which no doubt we're attaching in issue 100 even, because that's the end of issue 99. That's it. That's that one done. Is that Iron Man in a kilt? No, it's Aunt May Iron Man, is it? Maybe? I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. It's Iron Man in a skirt. Anyway, how strange. We'll look at that shortly. So, popping that one aside and flipping in magazine 100 to the build of it, and this is what we got with the build of it. So we've got two attachy disky things. We will carefully decant those, and then we'll carefully decant the remainder. We have 4 springs, we have 2 plunger switches, and we have several bags of screws and that bag which we will carefully dispose of, or box, case, plastic thing, whatever you wish to call it. So we have that, we have 100B button and a 100D button. Now presumably these differ. Do they differ? I'm not entirely sure that they do. They look the same to me. How very strange. Are they the same? I'm really not sure. They look exactly the same. Do they look any different to you guys? They don't look any different to me. Anyway, we'll figure that out as we get to it. The springs are obviously all the same. They're springs. There's just 4 little springs, little coil springs. And we have got a selection of screws. We've got QP, KP and LP. And quite a lot of the KP, so I suspect it's the KP that's going to be joining the butts and the fronts together. So, we take the pieces. We take this one, which is 98A and 100B. Let's try that. I mean, it fits. Does the other one fit? I'm just curious. The other one fits. How strange. I mean, are they different? I'm really not sure that they are. Let me try that in the other one. I mean, that fits in there as well, so yeah. We'll just go with that then. So they don't look like they're any different. So we take that and we'll put that in there. We add 2 of the springs. One of them very easily slips over this long projection and the other one over a short projection. But I will zoom in and let you see that in a bit more detail. Where are we? There we go. So you can see this lower one. The springs are the same length, but the lower one has a much shorter projection. So that goes over there, that goes over there. Those springs will go aside for the next one. We then need to put the side skirt piece in the pivot hole, thusly. And we then need this, which fits onto the back, and you can see the locating peg, the T-shaped one which goes to the T-shaped one above the button, and then the 2 holes, that one being the actuating plunger with a spring on each one. So this slots down, making sure that we line up that hinge for the skirty bit, just down there like so. And that should give us, yeah, there we go. You can see the clip there, hopefully, being operated by that button. And now we're going to need a bunch of screws. We need 2 KP screws, which will go into the plates at the top. No, into this. Aha. Okay, so we're putting this on. Is it this one? No, it's this one. You can see the shape difference. One's one way, one's the other. So that one's going over there. This one is going into... Oh no, I've missed some. We do need some screws. We need some QP screws in here. I'm getting excited. Because we're so close to the end. QP screws. Okay, so we need 1 of those. We actually need 2 out because there are 3 in the packet. So take 3 out, put 1 back. And we will take 1 of these, put 1 aside. And this needs to go into this one here, I'm guessing. Kind of makes sense. Yeah, that sort of makes sense. Excellent. Now we go to the top and we put this piece on. And I just need to get the orientation of this right. So I've got the orientation of this way and this way, and this fits on. I'm making a bit of a hash of this, I'm afraid. What's going on here? Oh, no, I see. Aha, yes. So we've got a locating peg here. And we've got a locating peg up here. And we've got corresponding slots for those locating pegs. It actually goes on a bit of a skew, like so. Which does make actual sense because, of course, we are doing a twisty waist Iron Man. So that makes perfect sense, and it matches the shape, the curve there. So, right, we need now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 KP screws. So let's get 6 of those out. 3, 4, 5. Come on, one more. Oh, one more and everything sticks to it. Come on, one more. There you go. Get off. Right, so. And we, I believe, are just whacking one into each of these holes accordingly. It would seem marvellous. There we go. So that's the twisting to the right one, as you can see. So the body is going to be up here, twisted to the right, and then the legs down here, like so. But that's the right hand side one, and then the left hand side one is going to be pretty much a mirror image of that. I'm going to go ahead and fix that together off camera so that I'm not boring you to tears watching the same thing but on the opposite side. So you can see how that goes together. You've got the hingy flappy skirt side bit, and then you've got, which goes on this side of this one obviously, and then the rest of it, including the clamp bit at the top, goes into place there. So here we are. This is it, complete. This is the left bending and the right bending waist sections. As you can see, that's how the body sits. That's the angle of the body, and then as you can see, it would bend left or right accordingly. Obviously, clearance for the leg bending here, and then this skirt bit for dramatic poses and all the rest of it. And they're basically just mirror images of one another. So we have now in total 4 base pieces. We've got the twisty one, which is this one here, to do the dramatic hero landing twisty pose. That's only twisting in one direction, slightly to the left, and obviously you can see it's got some curvy twisty bits that you just physically couldn't do with solid armor pieces. And then we've got the bending to the left, and we've got the bending to the right, and then we've got the basic bog standard stand up straight one. So that's the entirety of the build finished. Those of you with keen eyes will have remembered that we've got an extra packet of screws. These are LP screws, and I was thinking, what on earth are they used for then, the LP screws, because we've not used those. They are the ones that connect the crotch plate, which connects to the legs and goes across here. They're the ones that fasten to this and hold that in place there to stop the legs from just dropping off, which they will, because it's a very heavy model. If you pick it up by the body or the waist and you move it about too vigorously, the legs will just drop off. And it's all because there's a lot of weight in that model. There's a lot of metal parts. It's very heavy. I will actually get your weight on that momentarily. I'll weigh that because I'm curious myself. But that's the whole thing. So that's all of the waist sections and the entire model, all finished, built, completed, done and dusted. And you can see the LP screws and how they secure into the sort of crotch plate down here. And that's us. There, of course, is the dramatic hero landing pose, which we are going to have to try and replicate, naturally. So, in magazine 99, Ironheart Model 1. And the world axis, the world back to front, that's obviously one of the Iron Man storylines. Magic attack rebound and various things going on here. That's kind of a Red Skull, but not red. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, it is Red Skull. Okay. Unprecedented scenes. Captain America helps Red Skull, now white, to escape from prison in Avengers and X-Men Axis 4. Not sure what that's all about, but Red Skull, White Skull, Red Skull. I don't know. Red Skull's cooler, isn't it? I don't know. I don't, like I say, I'm not really one for the storylines and stuff. I didn't follow the comic books. I just like the movies. So we've got various cool artwork going on there. We've got the buildy sections, which obviously we have done. Other worlds are possible, as we can see here with what I thought was Iron Man in a kilt, which is in fact, it looks like Aunt May as Iron Man. I'm not sure what that's about. We've got a portly Iron Man. Oh, there we go. Some of the alternative worlds presented in What If Volume 134, top. What if Aunt May became a superhero? And what if Iron Man had an eating problem instead of a drinking problem? That's quite funny. I like that one. So we've got portly Iron Man. Okay, so the Watcher. We've got some very cool artwork over here. I like that. Very good. One of Captain Britain's multiverses in Excalibur. Okay, so that would Captain Britain be Peggy, oh crikey, what's her name? You know the one I mean. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. woman, yes. So, yeah, interesting. Some of those I can imagine would have been quite fun. We've got an Earth there which looks like it's a Planet of the Apes kind of reimagining. That's kind of cool. Earth 8101, there is no Marvel reader who hasn't wondered what prompted this idea. But it certainly resulted in a few unexpected comics, including the presence of Iron Mandrill. I like that, clever. Marvel Apes, obviously inspired by Planet of the Apes. And we've got a medieval Iron Man kind of thing going on down there. Some more nice artwork. And what's that there? Iron Groot? Iron Spider Man? That's strange. Iron Wolverine, no, Groot Wolverine, Groot Spider-Man. So yeah, this looks like variations of Groot as different superheroes. Okay, got that. Is that Iron Scarlet, Groot Scarlet Witch up there as well, yeah. And Groot Iceman. Okay, interesting. Some Ironheart Model 1. A big chunky clunky suit of armour there that's kind of reminiscent of the first suit that Obadiah Stane made in the first movie. And I'm sure that's not what that's all about, and any fan of the comics would tell me so, but however. Magazine number 100, the final one, and we are looking at stills from the movie Fight Against Time, and this is obviously the bit where they travel back in time to get the Infinity Stones and change history. The New York group, Stone After Stone. Some very poignant scenes in that. It's very, very well done, I thought. Endgame, Avengers Assemble, the whole Thanos battle with the time holes, with where everyone came through to help Captain America kick ass. And then back to the movies, and we've got the original Iron Man 2, Avengers Iron Man 3, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Infinity War Endgame. So quite a few, and all very, very good, I have to say. And there, of course, is the build completed. Civil War 2, Captain Marvel versus Iron Man. Now that I'm not sure what that's about, but my understanding is that Captain Marvel is incredibly, incredibly hard. And I kind of get the impression that she would kick anybody's ass without much bother, really. So I'm not sure what's going on there. and what that storyline is about. I'm sure there's more to it than just that. Some very nice artwork. Yeah. The Ultimates confront Iron Man, after which he gathers a group together to stop Captain Marvel from Civil War 2. Yeah, not sure what that's about at all, but very nice artwork. I like the artwork in that. Very, very good. Oh, we've got Miles Morales in this one as well, so it's obviously a universe crossover thing, perhaps. I'm not sure. Speaking of which, I understand there's a new animated Spider-Man out, which I'm quite looking forward to seeing, because I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I thought it was very good. I was a little bit about the animation at first, the animation style. I just wasn't overly keen on it. It just, I don't know, there's just something about the way that it was drawn. But I really enjoyed the storyline and everything, and kind of got over the animation style thing. I thought it was very good. Yeah. And there we go. That's it. Done, dusted. And then, of course, it says here, next issue, battle damaged helmet, etc, etc, etc. But of course, that will be it from me. I'm sure there are other YouTubers who are building the battle damage one, and you will be able to go ahead and watch the build of the battle damage parts on theirs. But of course, it's simply going to be replacing parts that are already on the Iron Man. And as mentioned, my bugbear is the battle damage itself, is the actual chipping. As nice as it looks, why is it silver? That really bugs me. Really, really bugs me. Anyway, let's have a look at the model. So here we are with the completed Iron Man. As you can see, he's quite a big fella. He's obviously, he's almost as tall as me, but he's obviously stood on a work surface here. 2 foot tall, 1/3 scale. There you can see him with his arc reactor in the chest lit, and his eyes glowing away there. Hopefully you can see that. There are still a couple of little trim pieces I need to fit, but I'm just still fine-tuning the tightness of some of these, because just some of them tend to be a bit loose and drop and what have you, like the shoulder pads. Some of the pieces as well, I've found in manipulating it, moving it and configuring the poses, have a tendency to just drop off if you kind of look at them wrong. So you start moving things about and this kind of thing happens, you know. The magnetic bits have a tendency to drop off quite easily. Some of the bits as well, such as the ball joints for the hands, are a wee bit loose. Same in the lower neck to body joint. I've actually stuck a small piece of masking tape on that just to make it a little bit tighter so his head holds up. But on the whole, it's really, really nice. I'm very, very pleased with it. It's definitely a display piece and not one to be played with, as I say, because bits do tend to just fall off. So it's most definitely a find a pose you like and display it, and even change it up once in a while, change the pose. But it's a display piece. There's no two ways about it. It's not a toy, and obviously for the cost of the build, definitely not a toy in that respect. But yes, very, very good. I really enjoyed the build. I love the model. I love the finished model. It's really, really good. And for anybody that's into kind of weathering or what have you, it would be a perfect base to do your own weathering. It really would. So regarding my comments about the chips and what have you on the battle damaged armor, anybody who's skilled at weathering could do a much, much better job than that. But there we go. This is the Iron Man 1/3 figure completed, and down here are the different waist sections and groin sections. So the next step is going to be a little bit of tweaking and twiddling about and trying some of the other poses. So we'll just take a look at that. Just a quick note regarding the weight of the figure. Having just placed it on my kitchen scales to get an idea of the weight, it was actually too heavy to weigh in one piece for the kitchen scales. I had to separate the body and legs. The legs were 1.81 something kilos, and the body was 1.92 something kilos. So we're basically talking 3.8 kilos roughly, thereabouts, maybe a wee bit less. But yeah, that's a lot of Iron Man. That's a heavy kit. And I don't know if you can see here, but down here I've got blobs of blue tack. These are what were on the feet of the Iron Man, just simply to hold the feet in place on the base, because as I say, it's that heavy, and it is quite top heavy. If the pose is not quite right, it will just topple. So do bear that in mind. Sadly, it all kind of goes a bit pear-shaped here. We've got slightly drunken Iron Man, we've got potential Kung Fu Iron Man, and what I'm trying to do here with the legs, the separated legs, is to get it into the hero landing pose, because with the body attached it's just not possible. I broke one of the parts off trying to do that. As you can see, the pin of this piece actually snapped off, so I need to glue that back in place. So I'm a little annoyed about that. And what's the reason I've taken the whole crotch section off here is to try and get the legs into the hero landing position, and then try and refit the body onto that in the hero landing position. And how on earth they've managed to do it with the magazine picture, following the directions in the magazine, I just don't know, because it doesn't seem possible. And here I'm trying to get the legs into the correct position and then fit the body and bend it accordingly into the hero landing position as shown in the magazine, and it just doesn't seem to work. If anyone has actually managed to do this, I'd appreciate tips. But for now, I decided after this attempt, I'm just going to leave it in its standing pose, looking very nice as it is on display, until I have some time to revisit it. So a little bit of a disappointing end, but still a very nice model kit overall. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.